Hey, good evening, good morning, wherever you may be, wherever you may roam. It is Tuesday. Uh, it's 1:30 a.m. and here in Brownsburg, Indiana. So thanks for coming in. If you're at home, if you just watch Monday Night Football, if you're watching the news, whatever you might be doing, thanks for joining us. As always, we start every single show with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you'll take off your hat and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, put your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So, Ken, thank you for dropping in tonight. If you're watching this on replay, thanks for tuning in, and absolutely thanks for watching. Want to let you know that also here every show we make sure that we honor and salute all of our service people, those current, those who have served in the past, and those that will serve in the future. Never forgetting the ultimate sacrifice that has been made by our folks that died for the freedom that we have today. We never want to forget them and the absolute debt that we owe for our freedom. Like we like to say, freedom does not always come free. Getting to some NFL news. DK Metcalf didn't get a flag for what he did on Sunday, let alone ejection. But on Monday, the NFL handed out a suspension for the Steelers wide receiver for shoving a Lions fan during their Week 16 game. Reports have differed for the reason that Metcalf did this, but the NFL chose to punish him swiftly and strongly. The NFL announced a 2-game suspension for Metcalf. News came out on Monday evening with a statement from the NFL. Metcalf's actions violate league policy, which specifies that a player may not enter the stands or otherwise confront fans at any time on game day. If a player makes unnecessary physical contact with a fan in any way that constitutes unsportsmanlike conduct or presents crowd control issues and or risk of injury, he will be held accountable. Metcalf plans to appeal that. And pending appeal, Metcalf will miss the Steelers' final 2 regular season games. And Chargers linebacker Denzel Perryman has been suspended by the NFL for the final 2 games of the regular season after receiving an unnecessary roughness penalty on Sunday versus the Cowboys. Perryman appeared to tackle Dallas receiver Ryan Flournoy by the ground following the catch. The NFL's reasoning for suspended repeated violations of playing rules intended to protect the health and safety of the players, including during Sunday's game against the Cowboys. During the second quarter, Perryman was penalized for unnecessary roughness for delivering a forcible blow to the helmet. Cowboys wide receiver Ryan Flournoy while he was on the ground making a catch, violating Rule 12, Section 2, Article 10B, which prohibits using any part of the helmet or face mask to butt or make forcible contact to an opponent's head or neck area. Good on the NFL to step up as injuries as a course of play get up in the league. Let's take this to something we talked about last week. Injuries and more injuries. Quarterback sacks, quarterback injuries. not only the starters, but also the backups. Teams, you got to find a way. Understandably, the offensive lines have suffered injuries, but there has to be a way as a team, as managers, as coaches, to protect these quarterbacks. It's just really getting crazy. Protect the quarterback, protect the quarterback. The NCAA college playoffs are set to start, and they get more exciting as some of the semifinal pairings start to materialize. It's time to start getting our draft pick selections for the NFL together as we start to see who might have the top picks. Here at the Dave C. Show, we want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all sports fans everywhere. So remember, we broadcast live from the Brownsburg Free Advertising Studios in beautiful Brownsburg, Indiana. Brownsburg Free Advertising on Facebook and DDW Giftware wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Our sponsor for our show is DDW Giftware, the online store for all of your gift needs. China, records, paintings, lighted bottles, and so much more. ddwgiftware.etsy.com. And let's go ahead and get those brains working, get a little bit of blood flowing here. Let's do some sports trivia. In which country has played every single soccer World Cup? What team won the first NBA game in 1946? What team won the Stanley Cup in 2020? Never told you these are going to be easy. We wouldn't think you would expect them to be. When did softball become an Olympic sport? Which NFL team was originally called the New York Titans? And we will come back to those a little bit later with those answers for you. So hang in there with us on our show, and we will get to that. Okay, we are on pre-Christmas Eve. Looking at the NCAA basketball top 10 men's. Number 10 coming at number 10, BYU at 11-1. Number 9, Michigan State 11-1. Number 8, Houston 11-1. Number 7, Gonzaga 12-1. Number 6, Duke 11-1. Purdue Boilermakers 11-1. Number 4, UConn 12-1. 3, Iowa State 12-0. Michigan at 11-0. And coming in at number 1 this week in the college polls are Arizona at 11-0. And in your NCAA women's basketball, your top 10 this week are Iowa State at 13-0, Oklahoma number 9 at 12-1, number 8 TCU at 13-0, number 7 Maryland 13-0, number 6 Michigan 10-1, number 5 LSU 13-0, 4 UCLA at 11-1, 3 South Carolina at 12-1, Texas number 2 14-0, and the number 1 team this week in NCAA college basketball is the UConn Huskies at 12-0. And in women's volleyball, Texas A&M women's volleyball team wins its first national volleyball championship. They beat the number 1 seed, Kentucky, 3-0 to win the championship. Congratulations to them. It's their first volleyball championship. Congratulations to all players, coaches, and fans. And in the NCAA playoffs, Alabama beat Oklahoma 34-24. Oregon beat James Madison 51-34. Ole Miss beat Tulane 41-10. And Miami beat Texas A&M 10-3. Coming up on December 31st, it's Ohio State versus Miami. January 1st, Oregon versus Texas Tech. Alabama versus Indiana. And Ole Miss versus Georgia. Buckle up, Buttercup. It's college game time, and the clock is ticking. If you're ready, we're ready. Let's get into Week 16 in the NFL. It was the Vikings 16, the Giants 13. McCarthy was 9 of 14, 108 yards, 1 INT. He was sacked 3 times. Jefferson had 6 receptions for 85 yards. On the Giants side, Dart was 7 of 13, 33 yards. Tracy Jr., 16 carries, 71 yards. McCarthy left the game with a hand injury. McCarthy is now throwing more interceptions than TDs. It's not what the Vikings had in their vision for this season. Last year, the Vikings were 14-3. It was the Chargers 34 and the Cowboys 17. Herbert was 23-29, 300 yards, 2 TDs, and he was not sacked. Hampton had 16 carries, 85 yards, 1 TD. And Johnston, 4 receptions, 104 yards, and 1 TD. For the losing Cowboys, Prescott, 21 of 30, 2 TDs, 1 sack. Pickens, 7 receptions, 130 yards, and 1 TD. The Cowboys offense couldn't keep up with the Chargers. Herbert was hardly pressured, completed 79.3% of his passes for 132.8 quarterback rating. It was the Bears 22, the Packers 16. Williams was 19 of 35, 186, 2 TDs, 1 INT, 1 sack. Swift had 13 carries for 63. Burton III, 4 receptions for 67 yards. On the Packers side of the ball, Love was 17 of 25, 234 on the yardage, 3 TDs, 1 INT, and 1 sack. Jacobs had 20 carries for 86. And Watson, 4 receptions, 89 yards, and 2 TDs. Chicago now has a 1.5 game lead over the Packers with 2 to play. The Bears forced turnover after being down in the 4th quarter and then ended up winning with a 46-yard Williams to Moore. It was the Eagles 29, Commanders 18. Hurts was 22 of 30, 185. Barkley, 21 carries, 132 yards, 1 TD. And Brown had 9 receptions for 95. For the Commanders, Mariota, 7 of 14, 95, sacked once. Johnson was 5 of 9, 43, 1 INT, 1 sack. Rodriguez had 15 carries, 63 yards, and 1 TD. The Eagles clinch, repeat in the NFC East. The Eagles rallied from a 10-7 deficit, first team since 2004 to repeat as NFC division champs. Seahawks beat the Rams 38-27. Darnold was 22 of 34, 270, 2 TDs, 2 INTs, and 4 sacks. Walker III, 11 carries, 100 yards, 1 TD. Nigba, 8 receptions, 96 yards, 1 TD. On the Rams side, Stafford was 29 of 49, 457 yards in a losing effort, 3 TDs, and he was not sacked. Williams had 23 carries for 70. Nakua had 12 receptions, 225 yards, 2 TDs, in a losing effort. With the loss, the Rams moved from the number 1 seed to number 5. In OT, Seattle completed a 4-yard TD pass. Then Darnold completed the 2-point attempt for the win. So while the Rams racked up the yards, they still lost the game, and at this point, the number 1 seed. The Bengals over the Dolphins 45-21. Burrow was 25 of 32, 309 yards, 4 TDs, and he had 2 sacks. Brown had 12 carries for 66 yards and 1 TD. Chase had 9 receptions for 109. On the Dolphins, Evers was 20 of 30, 262 INTs, and Waddle had 5 receptions for 72. Miami trailed by just 3 at halftime, but Burrow and the Bengals broke loose in the second half for 35 points. And the Panthers 23, the Bucks 20. Young was 21 of 32, 191, 2 TDs, twice, 4 receptions, shared in passing. So he moved the ball around and managed to share it with 4 different receivers. McMillan had 6 receptions for 73 yards and 1 TD. I'm sorry, that was my mistake. The ball was shared to 4 backs and rushing. Mayfield was 18 of 26, 1 TD, 1 INT. He was sacked twice. Irving had 19 carries for 71. Evans, 5 receptions for 31 and a TD. So Carolina moves ahead in the NFC South standings. Tampa Bay's final attempt ended on the only turnover of the game, an interception with 42 seconds left. Tampa Bay, too many offensive penalties didn't help in this one. So what started out as a blazing season for the Bucs has turned into somewhat of a nightmare. It was the Texans 23 over the Raiders 21. Stroud 23 of 35, 187, 1 TD. He was not sacked. Jordan 15 carries for 53. Chubb 6 carries for 33. Collins 4 receptions for 59. For the Raiders, Smith 16 of 23, 201, 2 TDs, 1 INT, and he was sacked 3 times. Gente 24 carries, 128 yards, 1 TD. Gente also had 1 reception for 60 yards and a TD. The Raiders are in that qualifying for the first round pick in the draft. It was the first time, though, the Raiders scored more than 20 points in a game since week 9. Steelers came out on top of the Lions in a wild one. Rodgers was 27 of 41, 266, 1 TD. He was sacked twice. Warren, 14 carries, 143, 2 TDs. Gainwell, 5 receptions, 78 yards, and a TD. For the Lions, Goff was 34 of 54, 364, 3 TDs, but he was sacked 3 times. The Goff managed to share the receiving with 5 receivers with 50-plus yards apiece. Having said that, Gibbs had 10 receptions for 66 yards and 1 TD. This game was ready to go down as a classic. In the fourth quarter, things started to unravel everywhere. The refs either over-officiated or just lost their freaking minds. Ticky-tack flags, just craziness. You have to see the replay of this to just believe the whole scenario. The Steelers win, but just a crazy screw up to classic games. It was the Pats 28, the Ravens 24. May was 31-44, 380 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception, but he was sacked 3 times. Stevenson, 8 carries, 51 yards, 1 TD. Diggs, 9 receptions for 138. On the Ravens side, Jackson was 7-10 for 101. Henry, 10 carries, 128, 2 TDs. Flowers, 7 receptions for 84. The Pats erased a 24-13 deficit in the fourth quarter to beat the Ravens. In this, Jackson took a hit to his back, and his condition next week could be questionable. And the Ravens are in trouble. It was the Falcons 26, Arizona 19. Cousins was 21-35, 197, 2 TDs, 1 INT, and he was sacked once. Robinson had 7 receptions for 92 yards and 1 TD. For Arizona, Brissett 16-31, 203, 1 TD, 1 interception. He was sacked twice. Higgins had 7 receptions for 91 yards. Falcons have now won 2 straight. Arizona's last chance ended when it was picked off by Anderson. It was the Jags 34, the Broncos 20. Lawrence was 23-36, 279, 3 TDs, but he was sacked 5 times. For the Broncos, Nix was 28-47, 352, 1 TD, 1 interception, sacked once. Sutton had 6 receptions for 86, 1 TD. Harvey had 4 receptions for 71. He also had 7 carries for 50 yards and a TD. The Jags are still alive for the number 1 seeds. Jags need to win out and see the Pats and the Broncos go at least 1-1 each. Jags were a 4-win team a year ago. New head coach Liam Cohen has brought them back to this point. Was the Titans 26, the Chiefs 9. Ward 21-28, 228, 2 TDs, and he was sacked twice. Pollard had 21 carries for 102 yards, and the Titans had 5 receivers, each with 50-plus yards. On the Chiefs side, well, it wasn't good. Oladipo 11-16, 111 yards, 4 sacks. Minshew was hurt early in the game, 3 of 8 for 15 yards. Minshew could possibly have an ACL tear also. Loss ensured the Chiefs finished with a losing record the first time under Andy Reid. Andy Reid took over the helm of the Chiefs in 2014. It was the Bills 23, the Browns 20. Browns actually played a good game and gave the Bills a good fight. Allen was 12 of 19, 130. He was sacked twice. Cook had 16 carries for 117 and 2 TDs. On the Browns side, Browns showed life. Sanders, 20 of 29, 157, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. Both of those interceptions were on tip balls, and he was sacked twice. Sanders also had 4 carries for 49 yards. Fannin had 4 receptions and 1 TD. The Bills snuck by in this one, and that's what good teams have to do on some Sundays. Did Allen's ankle injury slow him down? An ugly Bills win, but still a win. There were some bright spots for the Browns in this one. Again, looks like another week of maybe some progress. It was the Saints 29, the Jets 6. Slough was 32 of 49, 308, 1 TD. He was sacked 3 times. Again, passing being spread around as Slough threw passes to 8 different receivers. On the Jets side, Cook was 22 of 35, 1 interception. He was sacked 8 times. Count them, 8 times. The Saints took over in the second half. Saints were kept out of the end zone until the third quarter. And linebacker James Sherwood finished with 11 tackles and a sack. And the Jets, well, and in tonight's Monday Night Football, it was the 49ers 48, the Colts 27. Oh, how the Colts tried to hang in there. Purdy was 25 of 34, 295, 5 TDs, 1 interception. He was sacked once. McCaffrey, 21 carries, 117 yards. Kittle, 7 receptions for 115, 1 TD. For the Colts, Rivers stepped up and was 23 of 35, 2 TDs, 119, 2 sacks. Taylor, 16 carries, 46, 1 TD. Pierce, 4 receptions, 86 yards, 2 TDs. Tonight, the Colts and Phillip Rivers tried. They tried, and they tried. Rivers and the offense just couldn't keep up with the lack of Colts defense. 49ers were just too much for the Colts. Colts are pretty much out of playoff contention. Don't blame Rivers in the offense. Colts D had no answers for the 49ers on Monday night. And your AFC standings in the AFC East, it's the Pats 12-3, the Bills 11-4. In the AFC North, it's the Steelers 9-6, the Ravens 7-8. The AFC South, it's the Jags 11-4, the Texans 10-5. In the AFC West, Broncos are 12-3, the Chargers are 11-4. In the NFC East, it's all Eagles at 10-5. NFC North, Bears 11-4. Packers 9-5. Lions 8-7. In the NFC South, it's the Panthers 8-7. Tampa Bay hanging in there at 7-8. And the NFC West, Seahawks 12-3. 49ers 11-4. And the Rams 11-4. So we got 2 weeks to go, and the heat is on. See, number one, who makes the playoffs, who goes home, and who ends up with the high draft picks coming up. It is time to move on to our picks for the coming week. We did good this week. For the season, we're at 50.2, so we're hanging around. It's going to be we're going to take the Cowboys over the Commanders on Thursday. We're going to take the Lions over the Vikings on Thursday. We're going to take the Broncos over the Chiefs on Thursday. On Saturday, we're taking the Texans over the Chargers. We're taking the Packers over the Ravens on Saturday. On Sunday's games, Tampa Bay over the Dolphins. Pats over the Jets. We're taking the Colts over the Jaguars. Saints over the Titans. Seahawks over the Panthers. Bengals over Arizona. The Giants over the Raiders. The Bills over the Eagles. 49ers over the Bears. Rams over the Falcons on Monday. And we're going to go ahead and take the Steelers over the Browns. Those are your picks for the coming week. Remember, our picks are for entertainment purposes only. We don't use point spreads. If you choose to gamble, please gamble responsibly. And in those trivia questions we had for you earlier, which country has played every single soccer World Cup? That would be Brazil. Which team won the first NBA game in 1946? Without Googling it, it was the New York Knicks. Did you Google this one? What team won the Stanley Cup in 2020? That would have been the Tampa Bay Lightning. And when did softball become an Olympic sport? That was in 1996. And finally, which NFL team was originally called the New York Titans? That's right. It was the New York Jets. Hey, we got our picks. We got them in. We got NCAA playoffs coming in football. Basketball NCAA is red hot. Great sports week coming up. Folks, enjoy your Christmas. Have a very safe holiday. And the Dave C. Sports Show, Dave and the crew wish you the best and merriest of Christmas and New Year. And we will be back again next Tuesday to do it again. So we are out of here. We're going to get ready for Christmas. If you're out tomorrow doing that last run around, please be careful. Keep that head on a swivel and drive defensively and show kindness and compassion. This is Daisy, and we are out. Have a good one, everybody.